welcome to our channel. This is Humble Tree Homestead and I am Danielle Carpino. We're very happy to have you here. This is our fourth garden tour of the 2023 growing year. We are in Washington State Zone 7. It has been a hot one. July has hit. Summer is here. We have been in the hundreds, close to the hundreds. It's been high temperatures, and let me tell you, the garden has exploded. Our shishito peppers are doing phenomenal. I am happy, as all of you probably know by now, I'm obsessed with shishito peppers, and these are doing so good for us this year. I have gotten 2 harvests off of them. Each one has been over 11 ounces, and I couldn't be happier. They're doing so great. As you can see, they're loaded with fruit again, and I couldn't be happier to see so many shishitos coming on our plant. Look at those. They're such a cool looking pepper too. I like how they get like wrinkly looking and everything. Oh, I love them. They're so good, and I'm so incredibly happy to see blossoms coming, which means new shishitos. Oh, and who can forget about the little guy of our garden, California green bell pepper. I don't know what's going on, but the poor little thing is struggling to keep up and grow. But we're still loving it, caring for it, and hoping that someday it'll grow into a beautiful big pepper plant. We just speak positivity to it in hopes that someday it'll grow and we will get some beautiful green bell peppers off of it. As you can see, the echinacea coneflower is definitely producing at this point. We had one with 2 that were just barely starting to open last week, and as you can see, we have 2 more that are starting to open, and the other ones have completely joined the party. So we have a beautiful little bouquet of raspberry colored echinaceas, and they are just stunning. I really love looking at these. They're just happiness in the garden. You can see all the little pollen nodules in there that the bees just love. I really suggest, if you guys can find this raspberry color, definitely get it, because it is just such an enjoyable little pop of color. Next up is our sweet Carolina pepper. As you can see, those peppers are getting ginormous. They are getting to where they are such big peppers. They're not turning color yet, but the peppers themselves are large. Let's take you around to the other side. So as you can see on the other side, they are loaded with peppers, and they are gigantic. Here's my hand for reference. Very large pepper, and there's lots of them. Like I said, they haven't turned yet, but they are bound to be turning soon. Moving right along to the lemon drop pepper. This is our spicy pepper, if you remember, completely loaded with blossoms, and let me tell you, it's not missing out on the pepper department either. This sucker is producing incredibly well. and I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have to harvest it soon. We think that they'll turn yellow first, but we'll have to look into that and I'll let you know for sure. But this thing's loaded. It's definitely a very high yielding plant. Lots of new blossoms on setting, which means lots of new fruit that's going to be coming in. This one is just doing really, really well for us. Thai basil is doing really, really well. As you can see, this is the one basil that I usually will let go to seed. That's what these little flowerets are. It's kind of hard to keep them off of Thai basil, and it's kind of part of their flavor profile. So when that starts to form on it, I don't worry about coming in and pruning it off, because this plant doesn't seem to go bitter like other basils do, and it actually adds a little bit more of the anise tones to it, and ends up being a really desirable flavor, especially in Thai food. I will be making Thai beef salad this week, and we will be using the basil for that, so I will make sure to put that recipe up whenever I get it all edited and everything like that. That's one of my favorite recipes that I've done for a long time. Very, very easy and great for freshness this time of year. Then we have the Thai pepper. This is my husband's favorite pepper, which you have heard me say repeatedly over these 4 videos. You probably have it embedded in your dreams now. But these are a very cool pepper. They grow long and skinny, and then when they're ready to pick, they will turn red. You can eat them when they're green. The heat just gets hotter as they get red. As you can see, our hot peppers are definitely not struggling to provide any kind of fruit. They're also blossoming like crazy, but this is just loaded with peppers when you look inside of it. All of those are peppers. Remember like 2 weeks ago when we could barely see them? Not anymore. Panning back, I just wanted to show you guys really quick how full and beautiful this bed is. It is so gorgeous to walk into our backyard and see this as the first thing that greets you. It's so beautiful, you guys. I can't believe how much this week this garden has really exploded, but especially all the flowers. They're just really starting to take off and fill in and just create this beautiful bouquet when we first walk into our yard. It's so pretty and awe-inspiring, and I just genuinely am so happy every time I step out here and I see this. Oh, and what do we have here? Just a big baby watermelon growing. How awesome is that to see? I'm very excited. This is our sweet baby watermelon plant doing excellent. As you can see, the first watermelon on there is really taking off and doing such a great job. The neat thing about this vertical gardening is look how spherical that is. It is really just so incredibly round and perfect, and it's just the cutest little thing. So that's really exciting to see. It just keeps growing more and more every day when I come out into the garden. Right here you can see one that did not get fertilized, and you can tell that because it turned yellow and it's gonna fall off. But down here, it looks like we have one that did. A lot of this plant's energy is going into that watermelon, but it is so exciting to see that forming. Moving on to our Petite de Gris melon plant. It is blooming. We have some melons that are forming on it. The plant is producing well. However, I have noticed that there are some melons that are not getting fertilized on here, which I'm thinking is because they're not opening up all the way. When I've been looking at them and watching, the blossoms aren't opening up all the way, so pollinators aren't getting into it. However, there are some that are still producing on there, so we will be getting some fruit off of it, but I definitely need to supplement some potassium and phosphorus in here. I'll just do a bone meal, and then that should help the blossoms completely open up. So hopefully by supplementing phosphorus and potassium, we will get more like this one right here that are actually forming and growing and doing well. Remember, this is a Petite de Gris, a French varietal that is going to be like a cantaloupe, but more caramely in flavor. Moving right along to our Armenian cucumber. This is a cucumber that has a little bit more of a melon flavor to it. It is a more heat tolerant cucumber and should be a high yielding plant for us. So if you remember from last week, we were having issues with it setting on female blossoms. So I pruned back the bush, which allowed the pollinators to come in and actually pollinate what was there. That really significantly helped. We do have some forming, like you can see right here. This little guy is now a female blossom at the very, very beginning stages of the growing process. We'll take you around to the other side. Here is our first Armenian cucumber that I've shown you guys last week. It's getting bigger, as you can see. We also have one right here that is forming now. Down here at the bottom of the plant, you see that we have another one forming. There's another one somewhere in this bush that I can't find right now, but as you can see, it is doing very well for us now. That did seem to resolve the problem. There was a lot of vegetation growth this week. Do not be hesitant to do pruning and things like that to help your plant, because they will bounce back from it. As long as you're not overly butchering the plant, it will in fact come out of it stronger, healthier, and better than it was. And in fact, I need to go in and trim some of those out again, so that way I can get pollinators coming into that cucumber plant. It did not struggle at all for me thinning it out. It actually produced a lot more. You can see all those new shoots at the top. You can see that I have new fruit. And what I'm also doing is I'm supplementing with phosphorus and potassium on that as well, because I was noticing whenever it was opened up, I could see the female blossoms, and I noticed that the blossoms didn't have enough strength to open up. So again, potassium and phosphorus or a bone meal will really help with that issue, so that you can make sure that you are producing blossoms that are strong enough to open, so that you can get the fruit that you're trying to get. Then we have the glorious Thelma Sanders acorn squash in all of her glory, all her beauty, actually producing fruit now that is producing and growing and fertilized. So we are very happy to introduce you to the first one of our crop and the second one of our crop. They are a day apart. As you can see, they grow drastically in that amount of time. It is so crazy how fast things grow in a garden. And as you can see down here, we have a few male blossoms that are open. We don't have any female ones open right now, but we do have them on the plant that will be getting ready to open soon. Until then, it is beautiful food for those lovely pollinators. Then we have the ever-growing, ever producing purple tomatillo, and I keep trimming this one out of the aisles. It is just prolific, growing like crazy, producing like crazy, tons of new little onsets, tons of new blossoms, old ones that are getting bigger, ones that are opening up so that they can start turning purple. These are really doing a very good job growing. They have no problems whatsoever. They like this spot, they're happy here, and we're happy to have them here. Oh, hello there. Welcome to green tomatillo. Remember the one that was at my throat 2 weeks ago and now is taller than me? That's right, guys. This is the green tomatillo, and I did not know that tomatillos were trees, apparently. It is taller than me. I am 5 foot, almost 9, and as you can see, it is definitely taller than I am. We've got lots and lots of new little blooms, onsets of new fruit that will be forming. They start with that little ball husk after they've been pollinated, and then from there they grow into the husked tomatillos, and then as they grow, the husk starts to fill in and it becomes more engorged and round. Prop it up against the T-post because it likes to take over the whole bed. It's almost reaching to the other side. So, tomatillos, guys, just so you know, they are great growers and they grow tall. At least the green varietal is growing tall for us. The purple one is short and bushy. Right along to our staked up zucchini plant. As you can see, I have female blossoms that are starting to form. They have what looks like a zucchini already forming behind it. Once they open up, they'll be pollinated by their male counterparts. So as you can see, we are training our zucchinis to grow up the T-post, and you do that by going in with zip ties and zip tying it to the post. You have to do it every 1 to 2 days because they grow so much. Like I just did that a day ago, and you can see all of that new growth that is coming off of there. So this allows us to get more in our beds because zucchinis grow out really wide and take up a large foot space. We could probably get only 1 zucchini and 1 squash plant in the entire bed and nothing else. But doing it by staking it up, we're actually allowing it to grow taller so that way we can get more in here. Then we have the plant that I have been pronouncing Ronde de Nice like I have some kind of stutter. And when I was at the Bug Girl, which is where I get some of my plants from, I asked them what the name of the plant was, and it's Ronde Denise. Yeah, I definitely had a stutter, and that's not what its name was not Ronde de Nice, it's Ronde Denise. So this is the Ronde Denise plant. We harvested our first one off of it. It was delicious. I did a paleo version of a fried like zucchini type thing out of it. I will be sharing that recipe when the next one produces for us. But as you can see, they are the cutest little round things. They are very good. I really liked this one. Very tender. You pick it when it's about the size of a softball, a little bit bigger. Very good one. I will definitely be growing this one again. As you can see in there, we got a lot of fruit on there. I did end up fertilizing this one with the potassium and phosphorus because I was finding that it wouldn't open the blossoms on it. So I did that about 2 days ago, and since then blossoms are getting way more produced and way closer to actually opening up. Last up is our tomato rows. We have our peach tomato, which you can see has lots of clusters of tomatoes on it. It's doing very good. Remember, this is a variety that will have little tiny fuzzes on the skin. So it'll be very interesting to let you guys know how that's going. As you can see, the plants continue to grow. They are still setting on blossoms. I have found a few that were affected by the heat and broke off. If I find one, I'll let you guys know. Then we have Kellogg's Breakfast. I have some clusters of Kellogg's Breakfast right there. Down here as well. Then we have the Virginia Sweets tomatoes. Again, they're doing good. We have lots of new clusters of flowers on, and that one isn't producing as much as the other ones. It's not horrible, but it's not producing quite as much as some of the other varieties. Then we have the Prudence Purple. This one is producing really well, and this one produces really large tomatoes. You can see we have clusters of them all throughout. They're getting gigantic in size. Just great little clusters of them on there. And then we have our Sweet Millions cherry tomato that we have been eating on all week. I have one tomato left down here. They're so sweet and so yummy, and I'm loving them. And so you can see we've got clusters forming throughout the plant, and it continues to grow up. More clusters right there, and it's still growing and still producing. So we were trying to figure out a way to temporarily raise the roof, so to speak, on our shade cloth, and we found these posts at Home Depot. And they are working great for us. There's these little clips on them, and so that I just clipped it onto the T-post, and then up here I took one of the grommets from the shade cloth and put it on one of those clips. So it helped to raise it. We got to get 2 more. When I get 2 more, I'll show you guys what they are. And they were like $6.95 each, I want to say. So this was kind of our easy, inexpensive, quick way to fix raising up the shade cloth. I'm sorry. And the reason we did a temporary fix is because next year we're planning on doing a few things a little different in our garden. So I didn't want to do any kind of permanent thing and then change our mind and waste money. So this was kind of our cheapest route to go to get that raised up and allow for more space in our tomato row. Last but definitely not least in our home is our sauce row. Right here we have the Coeur d'Eboeuf tomato. I will look that up. I really need to know how to pronounce it, so I'm not saying something else incorrect. But this one, as you guys know, is my favorite tomato. Look, it just looks like little tiny cute pumpkins or gourds that are growing on the trellis. And I am just so fond of looking at them. They remind me of fall and make me happy. Fall is my favorite season, but quickly I am getting very sad for summer to be over because I'm loving gardening so incredibly much that I am now like, oh, but it's almost August already. Never have I uttered those words in my life. So we have the Coeur d'Eboeuf, as you can see. It's an heirloom, that's why you get all those little ruffles and ridges in it. Blossom end rot that I was dealing with. So I treated them with an organic tomato fertilizer that was high in calcium. So we should prevent having more. Right here is one of those blossoms that did not pollinate and got sterile. You can see how it turned yellow there, and it'll just fall right off like this. And that's because this one did not get pollinated because the heat made it sterile. That is what we're trying to prevent with the shade cloth. So We are not preventing it completely, but we are preventing it significantly because we are still having a lot of blossoms that do seem to be setting on fruit and aren't causing any issues. As you can see, the San Marzinos are loaded. The basil in the back is really needing to be harvested again. Those plants are getting very big. More beautiful borage. Here we have new fruit that has formed this week despite our 100-degree temperature because of that shade cloth. So while it might not save every blossom, it definitely helps cut down on the blossoms that are dropping so that we are still getting new fruit forming on our plant. As you can see, they're all exceeding above our trellis now, which is why we had to extend those up and give it some room to grow. And we still got a bunch of new blossoms on this last one. This one is our yellow pear, which is going to be like a cherry tomato, a little bit bigger than cherry tomato, and obviously yellow. And as you guys recall probably, I say that I love this plant because it is so whimsical and fairy tale-like, and it just speaks to my soul. For those of you who don't know, I am very into fairy tale type things and fairies and things like that. So this one is just such a fun little plant for me to look at and enjoy. There you have it, friends, our first official month of doing YouTube. Yes, I'm so excited. I have been wanting to do this for so long, so it's really a surreal dream to see this coming into fruition, especially considering even a year ago, I had no idea how I was going to even make this dream a possibility because of my limited energy from my health and just the circumstances we were in and not having a garden. Little did I know that helping somebody else would actually help my dream come true as well. So it's really exciting to see. As you can see, our garden is doing significant things for us. It's growing, it's exploding, it is doing what it should be doing. We're having small problems along the way, but so far, knock on wood, I've been able to identify the issues and hopefully resolve them so that we continue to have a long harvest season as we're getting into those consistently hot months here. So this week out of the garden, I picked my first zucchini. It was a little guy. He was so cute. He was 3.51 ounces, just a little tiny guy that I picked because I kind of noticed that it was holding up the rest of the plant, so I picked it off. It wasn't seeming to grow much more. When I picked it off, the plant grew, so that was good. It was little, but I was excited to have my first Black Beauty zucchini out of the garden. We also brought in 12.72 ounces of shishito peppers, which, yay, shishitos. If you guys are interested, I do have in our YouTube shorts, Facebook, on Instagram, and on TikTok, I have short form video of how I make my blistered shishito peppers with a tahini aioli. So if you want to see that, go right on ahead and click on those shorts. We'll make sure to link that up above. Otherwise, I will be doing a long form video at some point of some of my cooking. Then we brought in 9.63 ounces of banana peppers that I'm going to be making into pepperoncinis. Again, look out for that video. There is going to be a lot more cooking videos coming up, and just me trying things and sharing it with you guys. And as I get it fine-tuned, we will eventually be opening up a vlog where you can actually go find the recipes, print them off. But we're not quite there yet. That is something in the future. Also, if you would like to see things throughout the week, I try to post every day something that is going on in the garden or something that is going on garden related over on our Instagram at Humble Tree Homestead across all social platforms. That's where you can find us at. It's been really fun doing this, you guys. I cannot explain how much it's feeding my soul, and just how long I've wanted this. I have longed for this kind of life and lifestyle for longer than I can even imagine or even tell you. And to see this happening, and to see us putting a YouTube channel together, being consistent with it, growing our audience, I really appreciate each and every one of you so incredibly much, because you're helping our dream come true. Make sure that you are subscribing to our channel. That helps us to grow. Share it with your friends. Tell them about us. Comment down below. Make sure that you're liking the videos. Every time that you like a video, it tells YouTube that people are interested in it, and it really helps your favorite YouTubers' channels to grow and just for them to prosper as a channel. But I just really want to thank you, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And in making this first month a success, I'm really excited for what's to come in our future. Like I said, there's going to be so much more coming, especially as the harvest starts to come on, and it's just going to be great. Until next time, though, you guys, just remember that humble beginnings grow mighty things if we just tend to them. I love you guys. Have a good one. Bye. Big bottom girls, you make the rock and roll go round.